Welcome back to The Deep Dive. You know, this is where we cut through the noise, find the best insights from our sources, and, well, bring them straight to you. Today, we're really digging into something fascinating. Our source material calls it Living Your Encore, the Portfolio Executive's Operating System for Maximum Impact.
Sounds important.
It is. And our mission, really, for you, is to figure out how to take all that amazing high-level experience you've got.
All that wisdom.
Exactly, all that wisdom, and weave it into a cohesive, truly high-impact Encore career. You know, one that gives you great results, sure, but also real deep personal fulfillment.
Right.
We're drawing heavily from Laura Johnson today. She's the powerhouse behind LLEJ Careers, an executive career strategist, a legacy architect. Really brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I've seen her work. Very insightful.
Her From C-Suite to Second Act Leadership series, the Your Executive Advantage publication, absolute gold mines if you're ready to think about your next chapter.
Definitely.
And the core idea, it's not just, finding another job. It's not even just a career change. It's more like a strategic evolution.
Yeah, I like that. Evolution.
Yeah, amplifying what really energizes you, using every bit of that hard-earned wisdom.
And what's so fascinating here, and frankly, pretty revolutionary, is seeing how this whole Encore idea is reshaping how we think about work, especially for senior executives like many of you listening.
How so? What are you seeing?
Well, the numbers alone paint a pretty vivid picture. You've got, 47% of the global workforce now self-employed. The gig economy's hit 12% internationally.
Wow, that's significant.
It is. But for leaders like you, this isn't just some broad trend. It's really a fundamental rethink of what meaningful work looks like after a demanding corporate life.
So it's beyond just consulting gigs?
Oh, way beyond. Think about this. The 65 to 74 age group projected for 55% labor force growth and 75 plus, an incredible 86% growth.
86%, that's huge.
It's staggering. And it tells us this isn't about stepping back, winding down, traditional retirement. Yeah, it's a really clear signal. Experienced executives are proactively stepping forward. They're finding new, diverse ways to contribute, to have influence. They're still hungry to make an impact.
That's such a powerful way to frame it, not stepping back, but stepping forward strategically.
Exactly.
And that leads us right into what Laura Johnson's work calls the Portfolio Executive Advantage.
The advantage.
Yeah, and it's not just a catchy phrase. It's about these really sophisticated leaders, probably like you, consciously weaving together multiple streams of value creation.
Right, not just one job description anymore.
Not at all. Extending their influence way beyond just one company, moving past that traditional C-suite box. I mean, look, the average Fortune 500 CEO is what, 59?
I'm there, yeah.
So it gives you context for why so many leaders in that demographic are actively building these vibrant, multifaceted portfolio careers now.
It makes perfect sense.
But here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little tricky for some. While there's this huge advantage, there's also what the source calls the integration challenge.
Ah, yes, the challenge.
Right, because many accomplished executives, precisely because they're so valued and sought after, they find themselves, honestly, swamped.
Too much of a good thing.
Kind of. Board roles, consulting, advisory gigs, speaking, maybe writing a book. It can all pile up. And suddenly you've got this patchwork of commitments. Each piece might be great on its own, but together it lacks strategic coherence.
Right. It's just stuff. No overarching plan.
Exactly. It's a nice problem to have, maybe, but it's still a problem you need to solve.
Absolutely. And if you connect that feeling, that challenge of being pulled everywhere, that's precisely why this Encore Executive Operating System, the EEOS, is so vital. Think of it as your personal command center for this next act.
A command center. I like that.
Yeah. It's designed specifically to take all those different, sometimes disconnected opportunities, right, the patchwork, and transform it into something cohesive, a high-impact portfolio that really maximizes your influence and your personal fulfillment. It's about being deliberate,
Deliberate, not just busy.
Precisely. And there's even research, McKinsey, I think, showing that 36% of companies that outperform on growth, they're led by execs with a really adaptive leadership mindset.
Which sounds exactly like a portfolio executive.
It's the same skill set, that strategic thinking, that agility. You bring that high-level perspective to every single thing you do in your portfolio.
So it's much less about just doing more things and way more about doing the right things strategically.
You got it.
Our source material is really clear on this. An Encore career isn't just about freedom. It actually demands the same kind of strategic discipline you had in the corporate world.
But with more flexibility.
Right, enhanced flexibility and a broader view of impact. It's like having all that career wisdom, but now you've got a custom-built GPS for the road ahead.
That's a great analogy. And the EES, it provides that solid framework.
Yeah.
It makes sure that freedom doesn't just turn into, well, fragmentation.
Okay, so how does it work? Where do you start?
It all kicks off with a really robust annual planning and goal-setting process.
Okay.
Yearly planning. Yep. Each year, you start by articulating very clearly what truly energizes you most about leadership and what specific measurable impact you genuinely want to make.
That sounds
Personal.
It is, and that's key. It's not about looking back at what you've done. It's about actively picturing and defining what you're building for the future.
For execs used to corporate goals, that shift must be powerful.
It can be incredibly liberating, almost revolutionary, as you said earlier.
Okay, so you've got the vision. Then what?
Then you move into portfolio architecture design. This is where you consciously map out your activities. Think of it like designing a blueprint.
A blueprint for your time and energy. Exactly. Across 4 key dimensions to make sure everything's balanced and aligned. First, your high-energy activities. This is the work that just lights you up,
Yeah.
where you totally lose track of time.
The stuff you love.
Right. Then, legacy building. These are the projects creating lasting value in areas you really care about.
Making a difference.
Precisely. Third, expertise amplification. Engagements that use your best skills, sure, but importantly, the skills you actually enjoy using.
That enjoyment factor seems critical.
It is. And finally, meaningful connections. Activities that deepen your relationships with inspiring people, people who challenge you, lift you up.
Okay, 4 dimensions. High energy, legacy, expertise, connections. How do you manage capacity across all that?
That's where the system introduces this concept Laura Johnson calls a capacity allocation framework. It's an energy-first model.
Energy first, not time first.
Exactly. That's the profound shift.
Yeah.
Most of us are taught to manage time tasks. But the source argues that for this kind of sustained, high-impact portfolio work, energy is your real finite currency.
Thinking of energy as something you allocate.
Right. Not just a feeling you have. It changes how you look at every single commitment.
Yeah.
The model suggests dedicating, say, 50% of your capacity to that genuinely energizing work.
Half your energy to the good stuff?
Yeah. Then maybe 30% to those legacy projects, 15% to learning and growth, can't forget that, and just 5% to the necessary admin stuff.
Only 5% admin. Sign me up.
Well, it's a goal, but it's a strategic way to protect and really leverage your most valuable resource, your mental and physical energy.
That energy-first model, wow, it really does flip the script on just managing your calendar.
It absolutely does.
It sounds incredibly powerful for staying aligned. But okay, that's the big annual plan. What about, day to day or even quarter to quarter? How do you keep this thing dynamic, keep it on track?
Great question. That's where the quarterly review and adjustment methodology comes in. It's vital.
Okay, quarterly check-ins.
Exactly. Every quarter, the system says you do a rigorous assessment, not just looking at financial returns or if projects are done, but crucially, assessing your energy alignment. Are your activities really moving you towards that strategic vision you set? Are you actually spending most of your time on work that energizes and fulfills you? Or have you kind of drifted?
Ooh, that's an honest check-in.
It has to be. And often, this leads to portfolio rebalancing.
Right.
Just like you'd rebalance an investment portfolio, right?
Makes sense.
Your professional portfolio needs regular adjustment, too. Maybe that board seat isn't energizing anymore, so it transitions to an advisory role. Or a consulting gig evolves, maybe take an equity stake. Or that writing project, maybe it expands into a speaking tour.
So constantly tweaking and adjusting.
Being agile, intentional.
Yeah.
And all through this, you need robust opportunity pipeline management. You keep generating possibilities, but, and this is key, you apply a really rigorous screening filter.
The filter again. What are the questions?
Does this new thing truly energize me? Does it leverage my absolute best, most enjoyable skills? And will it create meaningful value in areas I'm genuinely passionate about?
And if not?
If it doesn't hit at least 2 of those, it might be a no, or at least a not right now. You have to be disciplined.
I can absolutely see how that keeps the whole portfolio sharp, agile, and really purpose-driven. Okay, but let's get down to the brass tacks, the daily grind. How do you optimize that when you're juggling maybe several high-level things?
Well, for the daily and weekly stuff, it's about scheduling optimization. And this is way more nuanced than just blocking time on your calendar.
How so?
Well, drawing on insights like that McKinsey work on managerial effectiveness,
Yeah.
the value of irreplaceable human judgment from experienced leaders.
Right, the deep thinking.
Exactly. The EEOS suggests energy-based planning. This means you schedule your most demanding brain work, the heavy strategic thinking, the complex problem-solving during your personal peak energy hours.
Been your sharpest.
Precisely. For some, that's 6 a.m. For others, it's 3 p.m. Know your rhythm and use it. Then for efficiency, and to save that precious energy, you practice context-switching minimization.
Eating. Less multitasking.
Basically, yeah. Think about how hard it is to write a critical report if you're constantly checking email, taking calls.
Possible.
Right. So our sources really highlight grouping similar activities. Maybe Monday is all board prep, Tuesday is client calls, Wednesday is deep work content creation. You batch tasks to stay focused and efficient.
Batching. Got it.
And maybe the most critical piece, especially for high achievers, strategic downtime protection.
Taking breaks, which many leaders struggle with.
Hugely. But unlike the old corporate treadmill, portfolio careers must build an intentional recovery. You have to actively protect time for reflection, for strategic thinking, just for personal renewal.
You shouldn't feel guilty about it.
Absolutely not. Reframe it. These aren't productivity losses. They are non-negotiable performance investments. They fuel your best, highest impact work.
Performance investments. I really like that framing. It resonates with that results mindset.
It should.
Okay, so beyond managing your own time and energy, you're constantly out there interacting, networking, building relationships. That's huge in a portfolio career. How does the EEOS help manage that vital piece?
It's baked right in. It's all about having a sophisticated network maintenance and expansion system.
A system for networking.
Absolutely. Your professional network. It's not just a list of contacts on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
It's arguably your most valuable living asset.
True.
So the system demands relationship portfolio management, a systematic approach, maintaining connections beyond just those transactional what can you do for me moments, real engagement.
Being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. And practicing value-first networking. This is incredibly powerful.
How does that work?
You position yourself as a strategic contributor first. Before you even think about discussing your own opportunities or needs, you share relevant insights, you make introductions for others, you offer guidance, you add value.
Build goodwill.
Immense goodwill and a strong reputation. And then there's this unique advantage portfolio executives have, the cross-pollination strategy.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah, think about it. Your varied experience across different roles, maybe different industries, it allows you to create extraordinary value by connecting dots others don't see.
Bringing outside perspectives.
Exactly. Maybe your deep experience in, say, the auto industry gives you a breakthrough idea for a healthcare board you're on. Or your tech background could revolutionize how a nonprofit operates. It's about seeing those novel connections.
That makes perfect sense. Bringing those disparate worlds together, that's often where real innovation happens.
Definitely.
So with all this incredible activity, all this impact, especially when it's not just about the bottom line anymore, how do you actually measure success? How do you track this more holistic achievement?
Good question. That brings us to legacy measurement and documentation. The system really pushes you to develop ways to capture the full scope of your influence.
Going beyond just the dollars and cents.
Way beyond. Impact tracking, beyond finance metrics. This could mean documenting organizational transformations you helped drive, tracking the leaders you mentored who moved into bigger roles, noting sectors where your ideas shifted the conversation, even capturing the decision frameworks or mental models you've developed.
Quantifying the qualitative.
You got it. It's about making the intangible tangible. And related to that is having a robust intellectual capital documentation system.
Documenting your wisdom.
Essentially, yes. Creating structured ways to capture and share your accumulated insights. Maybe you document the frameworks you use for tough decisions. Develop detailed case studies of challenges you overcame. Regularly create thought leadership articles, talks, whatever that advances thinking in your field.
So it's not just for others, it helps you synthesize, too.
Absolutely. It's a powerful way for you to understand and articulate your own unique value and impact.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic, a really comprehensive system, but let's be real. With any powerful system, there are bound to be challenges, right? Common pitfalls.
Oh, absolutely. It's vital to anticipate them.
So what should we, as listeners, be looking out for as we maybe start activating our own EOS?
The source highlights a few key traps that frequently trip up even really seasoned executives. First, There's the overwhelm trap.
We talked about that earlier, too many opportunities.
Exactly. Leading to that fragmented, unmanageable portfolio. The core insight here. For portfolio executives, strategic limitation, learning what to say no to, becomes a much bigger superpower than just grabbing everything.
So use that filter ruthlessly.
Yes.
Yes.
Rigorously apply that strategic opportunity filter. Does it energize me? Leverage my favorite leadership aspects? Create meaningful impact?
Okay, overwhelm. What else?
Then there's the relevance anxiety.
Fear of becoming obsolete.
It's a perfectly natural concern, right? Business moves so fast. The solution here is to embrace continuous learning integration.
Make learning part of the job.
Exactly. Staying current isn't some separate chore. It's an inherent, even enjoyable part of how you deliver value. If you're advising on AI, you're naturally reading, experimenting, talking to experts. It's integrated.
Got it. Next.
A big one. The identity evolution.
Moving away from the big corporate title.
Yeah. Moving from a world where your authority came from hierarchy, from your position on the org chart, to a world where your influence is based purely on your merit, your expertise, your passion.
That requires a mindset shift.
It really does. You have to embrace what the source calls passion-based leadership. Your influence now flows from your genuine enthusiasm, your deep knowledge, not from the corner office. It's a different, maybe even more authentic kind of power.
Okay. And any others?
The final big one is the revenue inconsistency.
Money question. Irregular income.
It can be unsettling, especially after years of a predictable corporate salary. Lumpy income streams from diverse sources. The solution is consciously developing portfolio revenue management.
Managing the portfolio of income, not just activities.
Precisely. Actively balancing predictable, recurring income, maybe from retainers for ongoing advisory work, with potentially higher value but less frequent project work or equity stakes. Think diversified income streams, just like a diversified investment portfolio.
That's incredibly insightful. I'm sure many listeners are nodding along, recognizing those challenges. It does sound like a lot to navigate, though, which leads to a really important question. Can you realistically do this kind of strategic Encore journey all by yourself?
Great question. And the answer from the source material is a resounding no. You absolutely cannot, and probably shouldn't even try.
Okay, so community is key.
Absolutely critical. The most successful portfolio executives don't operate in a vacuum. They actively build and participate in vibrant, strategic communities.
What does that look like, building your Encore executive community?
Yes. You need to proactively focus on peer network development. Maybe join or even start a mastermind-style group with other portfolio executives who get it.
People on the same journey.
Exactly. Engage in cross-industry councils, and crucially, participate in mentorship circles. That means both mentoring younger leaders, which is incredibly rewarding, and seeking guidance from portfolio execs who are maybe a few steps ahead of you.
Learning from those who've navigated it.
Definitely. And just as important are professional service partnerships. Form strategic alliances with other professionals whose skills complement yours.
Like accountants, lawyers, marketers.
Could be. Or maybe other consultants with different expertise. Think about systematically building referral networks, or even collaborating on bigger projects, leveraging multiple executive skills to tackle complex challenges together.
It's about shared vision, leveraged capabilities. Not going it alone.
Never go it alone. Community is your force multiplier.
Okay, this is incredibly motivating. For those listening right now who are feeling excited, maybe thinking, okay, I want to activate my own operating system, where can they actually start? Like tomorrow, what are some immediate quick wins?
Good point. You don't need to boil the ocean here. Let's talk quick win strategies for immediate impact.
Yes, please.
Okay, for a 30-day foundation building phase, start with a deep energy audit. Seriously. List every single commitment you have, professional, personal, volunteer, everything, and be brutally honest. Does this energize me or does it drain me?
Ouch, that could be revealing.
It often is. Then, based on that audit, establish your passion-based value proposition. Get crystal clear. What do I love doing most? What's the unique value that creates? And who benefits most from it?
Define your sweet spot.
Exactly. And third, crucially, optimize your digital presence, your LinkedIn profile, maybe your personal website. Make sure they reflect this new portfolio executive positioning, not just your old corporate titles. Tell your new story.
Okay, 30 days. Energy audit, value prop, digital presence. What about the next month?
Moving into 60-day momentum creation. You could launch what the source calls a strategic conversation campaign.
Sounds proactive.
It is. Identify maybe 10, 15 key relationships, could be former colleagues, mentors, inspiring people you admire, and initiate genuine conversations. Not, I'm looking for gigs, but here's the work that's really energizing me now. Here's the impact I want to make. What are you seeing out there?
Exploring, not just asking.
Exactly. You'll be amazed at the ideas and opportunities that surface. Also, start some regular thought leadership content creation. Even just a weekly LinkedIn post or a short blog article in your passion areas. Start sharing your perspective.
Building visibility.
And credibility. And finally, develop that opportunity pipeline we talked about, a systematic way to track and evaluate potential engagements, always using that strategic filter.
Okay, fantastic. That feels really actionable for the first couple of months. But thinking longer term, what does this sustainable roadmap look like beyond just getting started?
Right. The long-term development roadmap is structured to build momentum and deepen that impact over time. So in months 3-6, you're really focusing on portfolio optimization, refining that mix of engagements based on what you learned, maybe actively expanding your expertise into related areas, and formalizing some of those partnership developments we discussed.
Solidifying the foundation.
Exactly. Then, month 6-12, it's often about legacy building acceleration. Maybe creating a more consistent thought leadership platform, becoming a recognized voice.
Yeah.
Perhaps designing more formalized mentorship programs, initiating knowledge transfer initiatives within your key communities or industries.
Scaling the impact.
Right. And then, year 2 and beyond, the focus often shifts to impact multiplication, expanding your influence across your industry, maybe creating value by applying your unique lens to totally new sectors, and even starting to think about succession planning for your own portfolio initiatives, ensuring they can live on.
Wow. And how are you measuring success through all this? It's clearly not just about the money anymore.
Absolutely not. The key metrics for measuring success are much richer. Yes, you track financials, things like revenue diversification, maybe premium pricing power, but you also track impact and influence.
Like what?
Like the scope of decision influence you have in the organizations you touch, the ROI of your leader development efforts, how are the people you mentor growing, industry recognition you might receive.
Okay, impact. What else?
Personal satisfaction is huge. Are you intellectually stimulated? How strong is your purpose alignment? Does your work feel meaningful? And what about lifestyle integration? Is this portfolio actually supporting the life you want to live?
The fulfillment piece.
Critical. And finally, legacy development. Are you creating tangible knowledge assets? What's the institutional impact you're having? Are you contributing to the evolution of your industry? It's a really holistic scorecard.
That's a much richer way to think about success. This whole journey, it really is profoundly about building a legacy, isn't it?
It truly is.
But even building a legacy, if you're being truly strategic, as this whole system suggests, it requires thinking about the next step, right? What happens when the Encore itself starts to wind down eventually?
It absolutely does. The most forward-thinking portfolio executives, according to the source, are already considering planning for your next transition, maybe looking towards their 80s and beyond. Thinking about true elder statesmanship or pure philanthropy.
So even planning the transition out of the Encore.
Exactly. This involves things like succession planning for your portfolio. How do you gracefully pass on your insights, transition key relationships, ensure those legacy projects reach completion or are handed off effectively.
Passing the torch.
Right. It also touches on wealth management evolution, aligning your investments with deeper legacy goals, maybe setting up philanthropic structures, educating the next generation on stewardship.
Connecting wealth to purpose.
Deeply. And finally, and maybe underpinning everything, health and vitality maintenance, continuing intentional strategies for cognitive health, physical wellness, and preserving those crucial social connections that bring so much meaning. It's about a whole integrated long life of contribution.
It really is a continuum. Your Encore awaits. That's such a powerful, inspiring message here, isn't it?
It really is.
This deep dive makes it so clear. It's not about just trying to stay busy after a big career. It's about amplifying the parts of leadership that always lit you up.
The best parts.
The best parts. But now, with so much more freedom, more choice, and using your own personal compass, it's about tackling this next chapter with that same strategic discipline, that intellectual rigor, that commitment to excellence.
All the things that got you here.
Exactly. But now, completely on your terms.
And you know, this raises a really important question, doesn't it?
Go on.
The question isn't really whether you're ready for traditional retirement anymore. The real question, the one this kind of thinking forces us to ask ourselves is, are you ready to meticulously, Strategically curate your legacy around what genuinely energizes you, while at the same time creating your maximum possible impact and finding profound personal fulfillment. Your operating system awaits activation.
Wow. What a compelling and empowering thought to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into living your Encore. We really hope you feel ready to activate your own strategic operating system and redefine what's possible for you. We'll see you next time.